think about it. I didn't see a golf cart above ground at Augusta National. Didn't see one. Where's the cart traffic? There's a lot of going on. Where's the carts? I'm just saying. Beyond the Fairway, we in here, man. Dougie Fresco. It's a late night on the East Coast. Will Lowry's in this thing. Look, boy, your eyes low. That's all I got to say.
We here. We Beyond the Fairway. We talking golf. And Doug, I love talking golf, but at 11:27 p.m. watching in the middle of a West Coast game, watching the Rockets versus Golden State Warriors, my beloved Golden State Warriors.
We do this no matter what time of the day it is because we care about putting out the content that people rock with, man. So shout out to Will Lowry staying up late. It's only 8:30 out here on the West Coast, so I'm spry. I'm spring chicken right now, cuz.
Doug, you just went to your first Masters. We had the pleasure of stepping on the grounds of Augusta National, sacred ground, hallowed ground. What's your thoughts? How you feel? What?
First of all, last year's Masters for you was your first time again.
It was.
So this is your third Masters. It's a great question, honestly. I have spent a lot of time. I've been on a lot of planes. I was out doing Golf Channel stuff, Pasta Tiempo last week with college golf. So spent a lot of time in the air. First of all, just gratitude. You know what I mean? Like to be able to say you were there. I get it now. We talk about the Masters and all this splendor that comes with it. It's almost like, man, y'all blowing this shit so far out of proportion. The Masters and Augusta. Ain't even no hotels in Augusta. Augusta's the hood. This nice ass course. No, it's not. I was so well. It's still hood. Don't get me wrong. You make the wrong turn outside of Augusta National, you're gonna be in some areas that's gonna remind you there was some brothers around here. Yeah, goddamn, I'll tell you that.
Ain't no green grass. Ain't no green grass right now.
But no, it's so interesting. There's a timelessness to it, right? I felt like I was back in the time port. Think about it. These things, can't have them. Doesn't matter. All week, doesn't matter who you are. Can't have it. And I actually went into the week with a little anxiety and was kind of like, damn, this is some bull. I can't have my phone. How am I going to keep up with my son and my kids? And I was like, you know what? Hell with them kids when I got there. Like, that was the first time as a parent where I've been like, the hell with the kids. I didn't enjoy having to meet people by planning. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, meet me at the tree at 1:30. And you got from 1:30 to 1:35 to find me, or I'm leaving your ass. I mean, I think that's dope.
I think that's dope, though, bro.
It is dope. No, I'm telling you, it's like it's a blast from the past.
I got a reconnection of how to use my watch. I was like 5:10. Okay, yeah, it's 35. I meet you at 8:35.
What blew my mind is how many people, like, real talk, and this sounds stupid as hell. I got stopped 3 times. People asking me what time it was.
Yeah.
Like they saw I had a watch on. I guess I looked diet black friendly enough where I wasn't scary. You know, they didn't ask you because you had the dreads. That's terrifying to people. But they were like, excuse me, you have the time? And the first time I clutched my purse. I was like, hold up. What are you? The time? Oh, yes, I do have that.
Yeah.
Like, no, I was looking at people suspect.
Yeah,
but
having a watch was currency.
Yeah, that's a first. No, but it was also like this very interesting melting pot of just people throughout the industry. I mean, I bumped into world Fortune 500 CEOs. I bumped into golf company CEOs. I bumped into just the homie that pumped gas down the street. We saw Olajuwon and Earl from Eastside. We saw Michael Collins was out there, Ken Griffey, Vince Carter, Rip Hamilton, Josh. I mean, just it was like a who's who just up and down that thing, man. And never once did I feel as though I feel like, man, I made it. I always felt like I can't believe I'm here. Like, I can't believe that someone would take the time to invest in me and to pour in me like Fred Perpall did. And I know he poured into us, Will. I'm just talking about it from my seat. Mm-hmm. And, Fred said something interesting over the week, through the time that we all spent with him. He said that we don't stand under the trees that we planted. Which implies that somebody else planted the tree that we are either getting fruit from or shade from or protection from. And it's our job to then go and plant trees for others. And I really felt that being at Augusta National. There's a notion of, I'm trying to do this in podcast form, bro, and it's really not coming out like it as impactful as it feels, you know. But at the end of the day, Fred Perpall said to us that I look at you two as the leaders in golf moving forward, and if you're going to speak about this game eloquently, I need you to have experiences that show you've been there or that you can speak eloquently about to share with people the reality of a situation. And the fact that he put his money behind his words, brought us out, put us up, got us into Augusta National, man. I can't tell you what that means, what that feels like. I almost feel like not indebted to him, indebted to the future of the black and brown golf. Like to make sure this is where it's supposed to be when you get here.
I can't thank Fred Paul enough. And I tell you what we're not going to do. We're not going to shower him with compliments because I know that's not how he moves. He's not. Yeah, he didn't bless us because to pay him back with all these compliments. That's what he does. He hit us with so many words of wisdom that I can't thank him enough. But I have to say, me stamping on the grounds of Augusta National, it was dope. Being at the Masters, a black man, I felt like I had access, but it also brought out some hard truths. I want to challenge everybody the idea of progress. Like what is actually progress? And I say that because, Doug, you and I, we saw, the janitor, we saw the people that were working the concession stands, and majority of them were black, right? But what bothered me was it was a stark contrast. Like we got in, but we haven't made it. And I say it because majority of the black people that I spoke to, in the concession stands, janitorial, the crew, sir, this is your first time in it. This is your first time in it. This has to be your first time. And I was taken back by that, and there's a saying that my coach used to always say, you don't know anything no more than you're exposed to. What are we missing, Doug? What are we missing? What are we missing? How come the black and brown people that are working in the concession stands can't see in their mind that we belong or this is not out of the unordinary?
Maybe they were actually being overly welcoming by saying it wasn't a ha nigga, this your first time, or maybe it was kind of like, hey yo, this your first time. I can be a voice because we have the same skin tone. So can I help you? I don't know.
That wasn't my experience.
It's about internalization, right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, but that was
I had it too. I had the same question, but some of those moments made me feel like they wanted to make sure I felt good and covered. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
at least that was my read.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Have we mistaken access for equity? Right? Just because we're in a room, does that mean that we arrived?
Well, just because you're in the room don't mean you have a voice either. I actually love the question, because we were always taught, you just got to get into the room. You got to get into the room. But then you realize you get into the room and you're a bystander. You're a gawker. You're a watcher. You're watching people participate, right? And I think that's kind of what we've seen. But to your original question, there's two types of mentalities, right? There's either like, I want you to feel welcome. This is your first Masters. I'm going to lead you around. Or there's that second mentality, like, what the hell are you doing here? Like, this got to be your first Masters because you look like this way, or you walk this type of way, or you ain't dressed like they dress, so you must not know how to be around here. And I also think, when we talk all the time, it's about exposure, right? If you ain't exposed to something, you don't know if that can be there for you.
Right.
But you also got to remember, as black folk and brown folk, man, there's that crabs in the bucket mentality, and that's a real situation that a lot of people need to understand. Like, just because you start to climb up, I'm going to pull you back down. So there's also that moment, Will, where there's not enough room for you here. This got to be your first time because you're misrepresenting the whole situation. Yeah. And I think when you live in a society or an environment, that's a better word. When you live in an environment and you're fed whatever it is, think about it. Those people were local. They from the block around town. They've been fed that this is the pinnacle of the sport. This is golf. Only the wealthiest people come here. Only the who's who, the this, the that's, the third. And you come in there with a backwards hat with dreads, that don't match the narrative that they've been fed. You dig what I'm saying? That don't match, man.
Yeah,
there's a dissonance to it. But what blew my here, look, and I understand. I'm not discounting what you're saying. But I have more to talk about Augusta National because there's a couple things that blew my mind. The first one, you heard it, but I don't think a lot of people know this. Under Magnolia Lane, dude, is a parking structure. Right. There's a parking garage under Magnolia Lane.
Right.
Like, wait, what? Right. Okay. For example, during the practice round, there were divots on 12 tee box, the par 3 going over the water. Well, I have video. Take a look right here that they just took up.
They cut out all the divots.
I know, we saw it. Oh, that's so beautiful.
This is proof. They re-sodded. These guys went out, dug up the ground, like dug it up, like roll, and then brought in some rolled grass, Will, and you didn't see a divot. They do that. They do that with the fairways, bro. I was blown away by the meticulousness of how they prepare this golf course. And think about it. I didn't see a golf cart above ground at Augusta National. Didn't see one. Where's the cart traffic? There's a lot of going on. Where's the carts? I'm just saying.
And also, kudos to the members. When it gets hot out there, they are still rocking their green jackets. And I look and I'm looking at them, I'm like, you gotta be sweating. You gotta be sweating. Go ahead and turn it. Go and take it off. No, them members are rocking that thing cool, smooth, and collected. And it almost makes me wonder, like, damn, that's required. That's also a requirement to having a green jacket. Like, I don't know. I'm like, brother, I gotta get above this thing right here. I don't know if I can do it. But if you ever stay late, you also see when those guys are cutting the fairways where it's probably 12 mowers on one hole, and they're knocking their duties out for that particular hole out within 10 minutes max, bro. It's a crazy. You ever seen they go in the V formation, Mighty Ducks down the fairway. It's quite a sight to see. It's like an army.
Oh yeah, no, and they mow in the same direction too, same way, down grain, back from the green to the tee. That's why Jordan Spieth. I tell you what, Jordan Spieth talking about mud balls the week after Augusta National or the Masters. Somebody gonna come get in his ass for that. I know he's a past champion. He knows shut the hell up. You ain't supposed to be spilling the tea like that, Jordan Spieth. I'm just saying.
Here's the thing too, Doug, and I don't want to go in too much depth with it. By Rory winning last week, I think this has set him up to possibly win 3 out of the 4 majors. But
this year?
Yeah, bro. Think about it.
That's a statement.
We got Quail Hollow. We got Quail Hollow coming up. He owns Quail Hollow. Think about it. That's 2. That's 2 in a row right there.
Who won the last PGA Championship, Quail Hollow?
Justin Thomas.
Because that dude won this week on the PGA Tour in a signature event. And that's where I'm looking at going back to Quail Hollow, JT, PGA Championship. He already got 2 of them. Dad's a PGA professional.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you pointing at Rory winning all of them. I think JT's here to support a party. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, you got to think, but Roy has won 4 times at Quail Hollow.
Said that, hey, but you know what? Speaking of possibilities, Will, speaking of champions and top tier places to play golf, we got Quail Hollow. We had freaking Justin Thomas winning. Fred Perpall, going back to one of our dinner discussions, he asked me the hardest question that I've ever been asked in life. He said, I know I posted this, and here's the post. All right, so I've had this question on my mind lately. You only get one course to play. Pick anywhere. You can have not played there, you can have played there. But you can't pick Augusta, you can't pick Cypress, and you can't pick Pine Valley. So the question is, where are you going to play? Let me know. But he said, Will and Doug, where do y'all want to go play? And it was the most honest question I've ever heard. And I have spent a lot of time, Will. I'm talking about I have called course designers. I have talked to multiple course rankers. I still don't have an answer some 2 weeks after being asked this question. So, Will, I'm going to phrase it to you. You can't play Cypress, and then I do have a Cypress story that I'll get into. You can't play Cypress, you can't play Augusta, and you can't play Pine Valley. Domestically, where are you playing next? Is the like what's that bucket list golf course? And I've been in my feelings with this one, bro.
I would love to see Oakmont. I'm always down to see Pinehurst number 2 in its pure fashion, like in this U.S. Open ready fashion. Always down to see Pinehurst number 2, and I would say Bethpage because I want to do the experience of waking up at 6 a.m. or 4 o'clock a.m. 4 a.m. You did that? You did that?
It's yeah, by myself. True story.
You in the car and everything?
Slept in the car. Got there like 11 at night. Had a Little Caesars. This is a true story. When I moved to New York,
you didn't tell me that. I didn't know
November
that.
2020 or 2012. November 2012 when the leaves was changing. Went up to Bethpage Park. Slept in my car. So when you at night you got to back into these spots. You know, I was in the 3rd stall. But what sucks is they come wake you up about 5:45, 6 o'clock. This is look for everybody out there. If you're gonna go play Bethpage, black, and you're gonna sleep in the car, there's two things you have to fucking know. Honestly, this piss me off. One, the first tee time doesn't start till like 8:30, so they wake you up at 5:30 and change, and then you file out and you drive up the walk or up the kind of like there's like a row. You park up by the clubhouse. You go into the clubhouse, which is like jail. You swipe your card, bars and all kinds of shit.
Hold on. What do you mean in class like jail? What does that mean?
Like I'm saying, like the tellers. There's teller stands, and you walk up to a teller behind bars and glass, and like I'd like tee time at the black course, and they say, okay, yes sir, you have an 8:30. You pay your money, and then it's 6:15, and you have a tee time at 8:30, and you just like, okay, I did not plan this through, because I thought you would wake up and go play. Like, no,
yeah, no. It's like,
you wake up and you.
Is there a
you gotta
range?
wait.
Is there a range you go into though?
There's a range, but the range of Bethpage is whack as hell. I'm not gonna lie. But apparently, because there's a business up there, this is so far off the beaten path. There's a business where people will come and sleep in their car so that you can take their spot and drive on up. Like this, it's like a whole strategy that people have. So you can pay somebody to sleep in the car in the parking lot of Bethpage. And then so this lady was like, "Yo, you need to go around the corner. There's like a little breakfast spot." So I went and had breakfast. Met you meet who you teeing off with. We went and had breakfast. We came back, hit balls, and we went and played. So it's a whole experience. It's the best 60 or 76 I've ever shot. I balled out, shot 76. I have no problem.
I tell you, well, since you've been Bethpage, you can't do it. Any Seth Rayner design. I love Seth Rayner.
Like Seth, okay, I got you. All right,
yeah.
All right, I'm gonna give you mine. I picked Fisher's Island, National Golf Links of America, or just National, and Marion.
I was about to say Marion.
No, I've been. That's where I'm at right now. It's like the problem is that people were on the Instagram talking, and we'll open the question back up. But I mean, I'm not trying to be that dude, but I've played a lot of the places that they were mentioning. You know, and I haven't played Jordan's spot. A lot of people want to play Jordan's place. You played last week, Will. You was down there.
Yeah. I didn't get a chance to play. Well, I have played Jordan's spot before, thanks to Larry Fitzgerald. But anytime you go to the Grove 23 in Hope Song, Florida, man, it's an experience. But this time I went on somebody else's dime. The Jordan brand is starting to launch their Jordan brand golf, and they invited maybe intimate 15 to 20 people. Influencing people who are in the golf industry and just all people who are just in culture in general. And they gave us a full immersive experience from womb to tomb, where they outfit us with the new latest gear that is coming out in fall of 25. You know, so I got some new shoes, new hoodies, and you know how I do with the hoodie thing. I kind of just really took all.
I don't know. I haven't seen you not in a hoodie in a long time.
Yeah, that's probably accurate. But one of the things I really appreciate what Jordan Brand is doing is, and we had an opportunity to speak to Gentry Humphrey, what was that, maybe 6-8 months ago, Doug, where he was telling us how they are going to change the landscape of golf, but specifically for the player experience in real time. And when you think about it, they're doing that. So they got this new. They should be paying me for this right now, because
the way you selling right now, I'm like, did you get a deal? Hold on.
So
Shit.
They got this new thing where they putting air pockets in the shoe, on the outside of the shoe, to where it can create stability in the midst of the swing, right? Because you know how sometimes when you swing, a lot of amateurs have a lot of movement in the bottom, in the foundation.
Yeah, you get the ankles. Yeah.
The ankles moving, so therefore the bottom of the yard changes all over the place. But they have the air pockets on the outside of the shoe, which create stability to where you can just be stable with the ball. You can cover the ball more. And I think that right there is thinking outside the box, especially when you think of groundbreaking footwear and just, keeping people engaged in the game, enjoying the game. So, bro, I like what Jordan Brand is doing. They are about to.
Hold on, stop. It ain't. I'm gonna be honest with you. Nobody's paying us. You on the train. I'm not.
Nobody's paying us. Nobody's paying us.
I just feel like, bro, like you excited about some air pockets on some ankles. It sound ugly. Like, I don't know what it looked like, what you talking about, but it don't sound like some hot shit.
But
the tech sounds hot.
It's not on the ankle. It's on the out. So when you move, Doug, when you move off the ball, what is the thing that we see often in amateurs? That right foot, right pinky toe ish between the pinky toe and the arch is
It goes
moving.
on the outside.
It's coming
Yeah, it goes
outside.
on-
All
it
the
goes to
weight,
the outside
all the weight hits the outside of foot. Where they're putting an air pocket right there on the outside of foot, to where you can kind of refrain from moving as much. It's not going to stop the average golfer from not moving, but it's going to help them in their journey of being a better ball striker.
There's so much to unpack right there. We're talking about fashion. You love hats. You wear them backwards quite often.
Mm-hmm.
There was a player, the U.S. Amateur Champion, at the Masters this year. And I'm getting somewhere. Just let me build this real quick.
Yeah, because I don't know where you're going.
He had a Sun Devils hat on, but it was upside down, right? The letters were upside down. Internet went crazy. Like, they thought it was the most blasphemous shit in the world, but you love hats. But I'm going to come at you. Are we in an era right now where the big lettered hats, is that fashion? Is that cool? Is it played out? Like, I'm starting to see, we'll take a look here. We got all kinds of hats, Will, where these people are wearing the big lettered joints and upside down and backwards and shit. At Augusta, Will, let's be specific. At Augusta, should you mind your hat choices?
I'm all about growing the game, thinking outside the box, pushing the envelope, pushing the boundaries, but I'm never going to alienate tradition. I didn't wear my hat backwards around Augusta grounds. I heard you say that earlier. You ain't never seen me have my hat backwards.
No, you didn't. You didn't. I was just being funny.
Okay. But I think I don't like it, dog. That place you don't
like non-traditional, be traditional is what you're saying.
Yeah, at
It's
Augusta,
just not the time.
It's just not. It's not the time. Not there, cuz.
Like, it's not the time.
Not there.
Like, here's the thing, and a kid pissed in Ray's Creek, and his coach, God bless Coach Thurman, he wore shorts and walked across one of the fairways to talk to the player. You can't be on the golf course with shorts on at Augusta National. You can't have your phone at Augusta National. Why are people just breaking the? Why are you pissing in Ray's Creek? Just don't piss in Ray's Creek. Just that's the best advice you could give somebody. I'm done here, man. Hey, Beyond the Fairway. Listen, like, subscribe. We're gonna be out here doing what we do. We're teaming up. Coming up, PGA Works Collegiate Championship. We'll be up there, Kohler, Wisconsin. Tell Nina and Dave to get the jet ready.
Yes.
Me and Will coming to Kohler. Let's get it, man. PGA Works Collegiate Championship, my 20th year anniversary. Let's go. Where's my ring? It's upstairs.
Yeah.